successful. Education freedom.
Greetings. Welcome to End School Slavery Podcast, Episode 11. I'm Guillem Palau, also known as William Palace. I'm the host, and in this episode, I'm also the guest. There's no special guest today, so that means that this episode is a solo episode. That's a good idea for multiple reasons. Let me tell you why. First, it's because I also have experiences to share myself. Usually the guest shares his own experience, life, discovering through learning, the question, and so on. But I also like to share mine. And here it goes, the second point, is that I have some of the guests that want to collaborate with me, but not now. So I don't want to make a long hiatus on the podcast. So when this happens, I will do the solo episodes. Nice. So I will just focus on something very specific so I don't drag the episode. And keep in mind, since it's just me, it's only about my privacy. So I will record myself. So feel free to watch this video on YouTube or just listen to it in other platforms. But I have in mind that you can just listen to me. And in this episode, number 11, I want to share with you one very specific thing about my life. When my grandmother thought I was a loser on 2008. Let's get to that. So before starting university, I went to college or high school, depends on the country. It's when you are 16 to 18. Nice. And you need that in order to go to university and get a degree. And I repeated the last year, just the last year, over again and again and again, 3 times. That means I did it for the first time and 3 more. So a total of 4 times during the same academic year. That's not the point of the video. That is worth several episodes. Then I went to the university. Finally, at 21 almost, for just 2 months, because I'm from November. It's okay, I'm starting college, university, finally, computer science. But whoops, what happens? My grandparents thought I was a loser because you failed college, right? Yeah, I succeeded, but I succeeded the 4th time. That's ridiculous, right? So first my cousin failed. He is 7 years older than me. Then my brother, who is 2 years older than me, failed at college, the first year. And then me. So I just finally succeeded. But what happens is that my grandfather died among those repetitions. So he died thinking I was one another loser in the family. But what about my grandmother, right? Yes, she saw I finally succeeded, but at the 4th time. So that doesn't leave you the label of loser. Then it's, oh, grandma, look at that. I am finally on the university. Oops, I'm failing some grades. Oops, I failed some subjects, but I also excelling on other subjects. It's because some subjects I couldn't care less, or it was terrible. And one specific subject, which was the most important, was the elements of programming, little translation. It's learning how to code from scratch. And it was with Python and Java. Okay, I failed that. The most important one, and I failed. It's okay, don't worry, there's a second chance at the end of the second semester. So, that would be about July 2001. No, sorry, 2009. Yeah. It's okay, look, Brahma, I'm not a failure, I will prove you. I was not telling that to her face, but to my mind, in order, you know what I mean. The point was that, hey, I will prove you wrong, I'm not a failure. And I will succeed on the second examination, the second chance, instead of repeating the academic year in that subject. But guess what? That was on June or July, I don't remember exactly, 2009. But what happened is that I had the examination on a Friday. And just a Tuesday, just the prayer day, my grandmother passed away. Yeah, just for a day. To add more irony, the funeral was at the same day as the examination. Not only that, it was at the same time, at 9 a.m. My mother said, "Oh, please go to the examination. It's more important for you than attending the paid respects, right? At the funeral." It's, yeah, I will do that. It was terrible because first I had a theoretical examination, 5 hours of multiple choice question, extremely bad formulated and very ill intended. That you had one very extensive and verbose question about something in Python, and it was missing a colon, or instead of a colon, a semicolon. So therefore, the right option was none of the above. It's what is that? I cannot show to you my knowledge and skills with this kind of questions. 5 hours of this, and then the practical exam, which was in Python and Java. 5 hours and 5 hours from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and from 3 p.m. just 1 hour break to 8 p.m. That means 10 hours of examination in a single day. Something terrible. And I deliver it, and I exhausted all the time. It's okay, time's up, I have to deliver what they have. I haven't finished. And what happened is that I was the only one who succeeded. And the second try, because most of the people are overwhelmed and they just give up. They deliver the exam and hope better luck for the next year. But no, I'm here. I'm here to prove I'm not a loser. I can do that. And I proved that. And not only that, I also had the grades the same day. Because while we were doing the practical examination on the computers, the lecturer was revising the multiple choice questions. So he put my grade while I was on the second part of the exam. At the second part of the exam, I had the mark and the grade on the same evening. So during the same day, I knew on the evening, hey look, I passed. I am the only one who passed on the second try, the second chance. Hey look, grandma. Whoops, I cannot tell yet. She passed away last day. That was a Friday. Usually, at every Saturday, me and my mother always go to her place to visit her. Because now she was living alone. Because my grandfather passed away already by then. So, if nothing happened, just the next day, just by routine, I will have gone at her place and I will have told her, hey, grandma, did you know I'm not a loser? I passed this, and not only that, it's the only one I did, just me. Yes, with just a passing rate, a 5.4 out of 10. So that, I don't know how it's called in American or English equivalent, a C, I guess. It's the minimum score possible. But given how it's the examination, so ill questions, so badly formulated questions that are just to, it's, oh, nope, that's the wrong answer because here's a missing column. It's not about this algorithm, understand how it works or whatever. And then the fatigue, mental fatigue. You just did a 5-hour multiple choice questions thinking about programming, algorithms, and so on. And then I have to code for 5 hours. And with BI, in case you don't know what it is, it's just plain and simple computer, no interface. If I went to the Linux or any Windows, I will get a failure grade. So it's only black screen and coding, that's it. It was atrocious. And I succeeded. It's, oh, now I can consider myself, I am no longer a failure. But why I still have this stigma, like a weight on my backpack? That was because for my grandmother, I was a loser. She died thinking I was a loser. It's, oh man. I know I'm not. But it pains me to know that they didn't know that. That was the thing. It's okay. I succeeded. Later on, to the next 2 years, I give up that degree, so I didn't finish it on the third year. So all of this pain, suffering, hours left, lost in sleep, and so on, and money went to nothing. But the point is, for many years, I thought, not I thought I was a failure. That was the case, but I assumed that people or my family and surroundings thought I was a failure. Not a failure as a person, obviously, but in the formal education. I wasn't fit for the academic world. And then I ended up giving up the degree. It's like, oh yeah, you succeeded in some parts, in some you succeeded at the second chance, but overall you are giving up. Now what is the definition of failure? I was a loser because I didn't have enough marks, right? The score was not enough for the minimum. Therefore, you fail. Now it's different. I have passing rates. A 7 point something out of 10. That will be a B minus, I don't know, something like that. So nothing fancy, but average. Just average. But it's me giving up. I'm not failing. It's just because for me, this is hell. I cannot keep up with this. Now what is the interpretation of failure? Who fails to who? I failed to the system, and the system failed to me. But I didn't fail to learning. I didn't. But what happened is that I built up so many toxic memories and pain off and nights, all-nighters, that I developed a hate of coding. I don't want to code because it gives me all these memories and so on, right? And I will skip many years in the future. Now I succeeded with I went to do an undergraduate, another bachelor degree, some master's degrees. Now it's the opposite, right? Now I'm pursuing a PhD. Now I am successful in academia. And people are praising me for that. Oh, wow, you have all of these certificates. Oh, wow. Well, they didn't know that my past. That I failed 3 times in college. So then they were telling me I was successful, right? But me internally, you're wrong. I'm still a failure. But in a very extremely different meaning. That is, now I can say it. It is because I was in the wrong paradigm. I was still well schooled. I was thinking that was the way to go. The way to success, the way to learn, and so on. Until I didn't turn about 32. Just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I'm 54 now. 2 years ago, I just finally did the click now I fully get it. Now I fully did a paradigm shift of now learning, it should be pleasurable, free learning, coercion and schooling, it's something of the past, it doesn't make sense, and it is closer to slavery than any other thing. Now let me revise my past. Why now I don't give, I will say it, I don't give a shit. Why now I don't get that pain when my grandmother died thinking I was a loser and so on? Why? Why the load on the backpack? It's gone. Absolutely gone now. I don't change anything. What happened? What changed is my perception. Now I am free. In my adulthood, I needed a lot of time by myself. I needed 11 years to this fully discover for learning and fully understand it. I did this path absolutely alone. That's why I know no one who who knows what learning is in my real life. But going back to the subject is, now I am free. Now I am successful. Now I discovered, kind of late in my life, but now I can free learn with pleasure, with a coercion, schooling, and so on. Now I succeeded, for real. And before that, I was a loser. And really was. I was working 2 jobs because I needed to pay the tuition fees. I was studying a master degree. It's okay. What happens? Very condensed. What happened? I know I wasted 3 years on college and 3 more years on the university with computer science. So I wasted 6 years of my life. And I had this anxiety that, I want to recoup my time, right? At least 6 years. I want to break even. If I did everything I would have done every single year, I will be that age anyways. Okay, so what I did is, let me do multiple things at the same time. So I will study this degree, bachelor degree, and this master degree, or 2 master degrees at the same time in parallel. Which is ridiculous, because I was almost a robot, just working, studying, working, and sleep. And sleeping so little sometimes, or not sleeping. And I reached rock bottom. That's another subject for another episode. But I was successful, or I was a loser. Most people, especially in the academia, is, oh man, I envy you, I have envy of you. How can you do 2 master degrees and 1 with honors, so with very high marks, and be so successful, academically successful? Yeah, but you don't see the other side. I had no time to live, to spend with friends. I had no girlfriend. I was sleep deprived. And I was extremely depressed. I was just feeding my anxiety. I want to recoup the years I lost. But doing this added more coercion, more schooling. So it made things even worse. So what well-schooled people told me, that's success, you're successful. It's actually the opposite. It's an absolute failure. I wasted many years of my time, health, sleep, social time, and money. For what? For some certificates that are worthless. In 2021, or in the last 2 years, if you ask me, I will tell you, yes, now I consider this, all this time from college, university, second time university, and master degrees, I was an utter failure. But for many different reasons, in a different perspective, because I was heavily well-schooled. I know no better. So I just did coercion on steroids, schooling on steroids, harm on steroids, and so on, instead of for learning. So, just to recap this episode, my point of view is that how society defines success or failure on the formal education, and how can this affect on that person. Now I don't worry about my grandmother thinking I was a loser, because she was well schooled. She knew no better. She was in the wrong paradigm. No worries. My other grandmother from my parents' side, who died later on, same thing. Or my grandfather, who died while I was repeating college, same thing. Because my other grandfather died when I was 3 or 4, I have no memories. So yeah, that's why if you're listening to this, or you know other people who could benefit, please share that with people. And this is genuine. I'm not making this up to convey a message like how it's called an analogy not, a metaphor. It's really what happened. My grandmother died. The funeral was at the same day, the same time of the exam, and so on and so on. No one is a failure. Who is failing is the system. Who is failing is the Prussian school system. Well, it failed all times, but every time it's even worse because they are adding more time to attend class, more homework, and more coercion. That's not the way to go. That is making things worse. And I could sum up this with one single statement. They are in the wrong paradigm. As simple as that. Those are the true losers for me. Nothing more to add. Keep in mind, from now on, I will have always a page with details about this podcast. If you want, you can join the Discord. If you want to talk and share it more privately.
We just want education.